Last year you could walk into a grocery store with $80 and leave with bags full of food. Now you walk in with the same money, and somehow leave with 3 items and a receipt that feels personally offensive. Eggs cost more. Bread costs more. Even the cereal somehow doubled. And everyone keeps giving the same explanation: inflation. But that answer is way too simple. Because when your grocery bill suddenly jumps, it's not just prices going up. It's an entire global system quietly shifting under your feet. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at a grocery receipt the same way again. I'm Momo. Let's break it down.
Mind's on the move and the world's in my hand. Momo's got the stories that you gotta understand. From trends to the news, we're keeping it tight. Mind over Momo, we're learning it right.
Stay sharp, stay bold, let your mind be free. Momo's got the scoop for the next big key. Hit like, hit sub, let the good vibes grow. Mind over Momo, now you're in the know. Mind over Momo.
So here's the mystery. Across the United States, and honestly most of the world, people started noticing the same thing around the same time. Groceries got expensive. Fast. Not just luxury foods either. Basic stuff. Milk. Eggs. Pasta. Rice. Chicken. Things families buy every single week. And what made it even stranger is that people's salaries didn't suddenly double. Your grocery bill did, but your paycheck didn't. So the obvious question is, what actually changed? Did farms suddenly stop producing food? Did grocery stores suddenly decide to charge more? Or did something deeper in the system shift? Because here's the part most people miss. Food prices aren't just about food. They're about energy, transportation, labor, global trade, and a chain of decisions that stretches across the entire planet. To understand why your grocery bill exploded, we have to follow that chain. Think of food like a relay race. Before it reaches your kitchen, it passes through a long line of players. First, farmers grow the crops or raise animals. Then suppliers process it. Then distributors ship it. Then grocery stores sell it. At every step, someone adds a cost. Now imagine every single step in that chain suddenly becoming more expensive. Farmers rely on fertilizer, fuel, and animal feed. When fuel prices rise, tractors cost more to run. Fertilizer becomes more expensive to produce. Shipping crops becomes more expensive too. Then the food has to travel. Sometimes thousands of miles. Trucks move food from farms to factories. Factories move food to warehouses. Warehouses send food to grocery stores. All of that runs on energy. And when energy gets expensive, every mile food travels adds more cost. Then comes labor. Farm workers. Factory workers. Truck drivers. Grocery store employees. If wages increase, or workers become harder to find, businesses raise prices to keep operating. So by the time a carton of eggs finally reaches the store shelf, the price reflects every single cost along that chain. But the system gets even stranger. Because sometimes the price isn't rising because food is scarce. It's rising because the entire economic system shifted. Now we reach the deeper layer. The part most people never see. Let's rewind to 2020. During the pandemic, governments around the world pumped trillions of dollars into the economy. Stimulus checks, business relief programs, emergency spending. The goal was simple: keep the economy from collapsing. But when huge amounts of money enter the system quickly, something predictable happens. Prices start rising. Because suddenly more money is chasing the same amount of goods. Economists call this inflation. But inflation isn't just one thing. It's a combination of forces stacking together. Pandemic disruptions slowed global supply chains. Factories closed. Ports backed up. Shipping containers got stuck in the wrong places. At the same time, demand stayed strong. People still needed food. So fewer goods were moving through the system, while demand stayed the same. That imbalance pushes prices up. Then energy prices surged. Then the war in Ukraine disrupted global grain supplies. Ukraine and Russia together produce a massive share of the world's wheat and fertilizer. When that supply got disrupted, food production costs rose globally. And because the food system is interconnected, a disruption in one region affects prices everywhere. But this is bigger than it looks. Because grocery prices reveal something fundamental about how modern economies work. Let's zoom out for a second. Your grocery store looks local. But the system feeding it is global. The wheat in your bread might come from Canada. Your bananas might come from Ecuador. Your fertilizer could come from Russia. Your packaging might be produced in China. Your food travels through an enormous network of farms, factories, ships, trucks, and markets. When any part of that network gets stressed, energy shocks, wars, supply chain breakdowns, labor shortages, the effects ripple through the entire system. And the first place many people notice it is their grocery bill. Because food sits at the center of one of the most complex systems humans have ever built. A system designed for efficiency, but not always resilience. Which means when pressure hits, prices move fast. So when your grocery bill suddenly doubles, it's not just the store raising prices. It's a signal. A signal that energy costs shifted. Global supply chains strained. Currencies moved. Trade routes changed. And incentives across the entire system adjusted. Your grocery receipt is basically a tiny economic report from the global economy. And once you start looking at it that way, you start seeing systems everywhere. So now I want to hear from you. What system should Momo break down next? Drop it in the comments. And if you like learning how the world really works, like, subscribe, and stick with Momo Explains. Because next time, we are breaking down one of the biggest systems shaping everyday life. Where money actually comes from. And why governments keep printing more of it. Think deeper. The system's bigger.
Mind's on the move and the world's in my hand. Momo's got the stories that you gotta understand. From trends to the news, we're keeping it tight. Mind over Momo, we're learning it right.
Stay sharp, stay bold, let your mind be free. Momo's got the scoop for the next big key. Hit like, hit sub, let the good vibes grow. Mind over Momo, now you're in the know.